Right, geometry 1. Yes, please. And the first section is lines and angles. Right, okay. So the first thing is a line. Right, a line has no start and no end. This is the line AB. Right, it has no start, no end. It goes on forever. How do I know? Because it doesn't start at A or it doesn't stop at B. Sure it doesn't. Just goes straight through. So no start, no end. So if you're talking about a line, girls, a line goes on forever. Right? Okay? If it starts at the point A and it finishes, so it has a start and an end. Okay, so it doesn't go on forever. Sorry, that should say A. That's called a line segment. Right, and the line segment, to show it's a line segment, as in it has a start and an end, you put square brackets around it. Okay, see that? You put square brackets around it. Okay, is that big enough? Can you see it? You can. Right, can you? Yeah. Right, so starts at A, ends at B. So a line segment has a start and an end. A line just goes through the points, goes out the other side, goes on forever. Okay, so no start, no end to a line. Whereas if they say it's a line segment, and how do you know it's a line segment? They put the square brackets around it. Line, there's nothing around it. A line segment has a start and an end. Right, okay, if it has a start but no end. So a start but no end. So it starts at A, but it goes out the other side. Okay? So it starts at A and it goes out the other side. That's called a ray. Right? And it's a ray that starts at A and it has no end. So you put the square bracket at the start, but nothing at the end. Right? So that starts at A. And there's no end. Do you remember all this from first year, or a vague recollection? It's been 2 years. Yeah? Vague recollection? Right, okay. And the other one I have to go is, right, it ends at B, but it doesn't start at A. It goes on forever. Right, so that's a ray. Again, but this time there's no start, but I know it finishes at B, so I put the square bracket around B. Okay, so it no start, ends at B. Are we okay? Yeah. Okay, moving it up. Am I okay to move it up? Right, okay. The next thing is if you have two straight lines that make an X, right, okay, this is where they intersect. So we say the lines intersect, right, and you could say the point P. So the line L and the line M intersect at the point P, and they obviously make 4 angles, right, okay. And when you have two lines that intersect like this, we can say that, I keep going, same thing. You see the way they made 4 angles there? So I'm going to call the angle A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to say vertically opposite angles are equal. What's that mean? You've heard this before? What's that mean? Anyone? vertically opposite angles are equal. That means if you have an X, see the way I have a big X? Yeah? See the way I have a big X? The angles opposite each other measure the same. So A measures the same as what? What angle is opposite it? C. So A equals C and D equals D. So that means if A was 70, C would also be 70. If B was 100, D would also be 100. Okay? That's called vertically opposite angles are equal. And look, I'm going to put an X in brackets after that because you have to have an X. Right? Okay? Can I just point out, don't write down the next thing, can I just point out what you do? This is not an X. That is not an X. Right? It has to be one straight line intersecting another straight line. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Right, don't bother writing that down now because it'll ruin your notes. It'll be a big X in the middle of the page and you're not knowing what it's about. Right, okay, are we good with that? Yeah. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is two lines that never meet. What are they called? Yeah, parallel lines. Parallel lines never meet. Right, and we've come across the symbol for parallel lines already, but if I call the top line line L and the bottom line is line L, M, so L, two straight lines and I draw a big wobbly line, right, two straight lines, M, right, so L is parallel to M, see that symbol there, that means it is parallel to, right, two straight lines, is that right? Okay. No. Right, L is parallel to M, yeah, okay, and then I have perpendicular lines, so can I move that up, are we all up to speed, everyone okay if I go, right, if I have two lines that meet at right angles, right, so L and M, what I call them, what are they? Perpendicular lines, aren't they? Have you heard the word perpendicular? Yeah. Perpendicular lines and math people don't write like writing words, particularly perpendicular, because it's a very long word to write. So does anyone know what the symbol for perpendicular is? It's an upside down T, isn't it? Right? So L is perpendicular to M. That's the symbol for perpendicular, upside down T. Right? Is that okay? L is perpendicular to M. Right? Are we good? Right? Okay. So I want to talk a bit about angles now. Okay, so I'm going to draw this angle, then I'm going to draw this angle, then I'm going to draw this angle, and then I'm going to get a new board. Right, and I'm going to draw this angle, and then I'm going to draw this angle. Okay. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 5 angles. Right, what I call this angle? What will I call it? If I was to give it its proper title, what would I call it? Yeah, not what is it, but if I was to name it properly, this is angle ABC. Right, just using the proper names of angles. Right, and I think we saw a bit of this in trigonometry, trying to figure out which angle it was, isn't it? It's always at the one in the middle, isn't it? Right, okay, what will I call this angle? What will I call this angle? That's PQR. I could call it, what could I call it? RQP, couldn't I? As long as Q is at the middle. Right, are we good? Right, what about this angle? What will I call this? What I call that angle? Angle FDE. What could I have called it? EDF, couldn't I? Right, okay. Next one, again, I'll call it, you're going to love this one. What I call that angle? That's a B. You ruined my joke. Now, these are your favourite three letters of a second and third year. Well, what'll I call it? CBA. Right? What could I have called it? ABC. Right, but I prefer CBA because it just makes second years and third years go cold. Yeah. Right, okay. And then finally I'll call this one what I call that angle? JKL. What could I have called it? LKJ. Right, as long as it's at the one in the middle. So just the proper way to name angles. Now I have to go back and describe them. Right, so back up to the first angle. What is it? What kind of an angle is it? Acute. Right, so this is an acute angle. And it's between, measures between what? Between 0 and 90. Between 0 and 90. So it's bigger than 0 and less than 90. 0 and 90 degrees. Yeah, is that okay? Right, what kind of an angle is this? A right angle. Okay, and there's no confusion about a right angle. It measures what? After we do a whole chapter on trigonometry, I'm delighted with you. So that measures 90 degrees. Right, the next one, what's this? Obtuse. An obtuse angle can I go back and, oh yeah, no it doesn't matter. Measures between what? 90 and 180. Okay, are we good? I'll give you a minute to catch up with me. Right, okay. Can I move up? Right, this is an angle here. What's this is called a straight angle. And it measures what? 180. And finally, when I go above the 180, what's it called? A reflex angle. Measures between 80 and, measures between 180 and 360. Sorry, I left out the between. So measures between 180 and 360. I left out the between there, sorry. Is that alright? Okay. Angles in a straight line add to what? 180. So that means if I add angle A to angle B to angle C, they will total up to 180, because the three angles there make a straight line, don't they? Okay, so you'll be able to work out what angles measure, etc. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right, and angles at a point add to what? 360. At a point add to 360. So that means here, if you can go the whole way around, a full circle is 360 degrees. So that means angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 plus angle 5. If you add them all up, you'll get 360 degrees. Are we good with that? Right, are we good? Right, okay. A couple of more points now. I have, again, this is all revision. This is all in the first year book. So you've done all this before. Whether you remember it or not now is another story. But yeah, we'll deal with that in a while. Okay? Right? Okay, so, and I just need to get I need to get through as much stuff as I can now before your pre's. Okay, I just have to. Right? Can I move it up? Yeah. Right, okay. So we have angles and parallel lines. So angles and parallel lines. Right, so we need to have parallel lines. How do you know lines are parallel? They'll put these little arrows on them. See this? Is that alright? So that's how you know lines are parallel. They'll put an arrow on each line. Is that okay? And then if they draw a line crossing them, okay? So, and that's called a transversal. Now, you don't need to remember that, girls, but it's just, if you see it written somewhere, that you'll remember, you'll know what it means. You won't be put off by it. So it's just a line crossing the parallel lines. Okay? Right. So we can make what's called corresponding angles. Now, corresponding angles are equal. I'll explain what they are now in a minute. I'm just going to write down. Angles are equal. So if you're trying to figure out which are the corresponding angles, girls, you're going to draw the letter F. Right, so if you draw a letter F, see, and the angles inside the F, see these angles? Inside the F, they are equal. Okay, so I'm going to call this angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now, the thing is, you can draw your F forwards, backwards, upside down, any way at all. Right, where are all my pens gone? Somebody stole my pens. Oh, you really did. I've no red one. Need a red pen. I can't cope. I have a green one. It's a boring old green one. I need a red one. Right, anyway. F. Look, I'm going to draw an F. See my F. Right? See it? Which angles are equal? So angle what? Angle 4 would be equal to angle what? No, it's the ones that are in the F. So 4 and 8. Okay, so look, it's the ones underneath the line of the F. So the ones underneath the line of the F. So 4 and 8 are equal, aren't they? Right, okay. So now I'm just going to draw a different F. Right, okay. Now, on a regular day I would draw it with a different colour pen, but somebody stole my pens. I'm very dramatic, aren't I? Someone came into my room while I wasn't here and stole my pens. Here's another F. Backwards, but that doesn't matter. See, does everyone see the F I've drawn? Right, so what angles are equal here? You probably can't read them. 1, 3 and 7. So angle 3 equals angle 7. Right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub this off and draw it again. Right, okay. You can just draw a second one, okay, or something. Right, okay. So I'm going to draw it again. So here's, and I might draw the transversal this way, who cares? Right, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I might draw a different F. I'm going to draw it upside down. Right, I'm going to draw it upside down and this way. Okay, so look this way. See the way the F is upside down. So which angles are equal? 2 and 6, aren't they? 2 and 6. And they're called corresponding angles. So if anyone says why are they equal, you say they're corresponding, and that explains an awful lot. Right? And now I'm going to draw an upside down and a backwards F. So what angles am I going to say are equal? 1 and 5. So angle 1 is equal to angle, oh, I had different ones on that a minute ago. Here, look, you see it's different. So I had 1 equal to 8. I think I had the 8. No, I don't know. If I go 3. Sure, I had it labelled differently there a while ago. No, 3 equals 7. That would be okay. If I just swap the 1 and the 2. Sorry. So 2 equals 5. Doesn't know. That couldn't be right because I don't know what way I had it drawn there a while ago. 2 equals, oh yeah, this should be 1 equals, no. I'm after muddling myself now because I didn't use the same diagram. Okay, from your original diagram, your first diagram you wrote down, right? 1 equals 8, 3 equals 7, was it, what equals 6? 2, and that leaves me with 4 is equal to 5. Sorry, first one is 4 equals 8, is it? Second one was 3 is 7, 2 is 6, so that means 1 is 5, is that right? Okay, it's just when I redrew the diagram I moved all the labels and that's very confusing. I'm sorry to confuse you. Right, you get the idea. Right, corresponding angles, you need 2 parallel lines when you draw an F, and the angles inside the F are equal. So it's this one and this one. Right, if the F is upside down, it's this one and this one. Is that okay? So if this measures 60, this measures 60. If that measures 100, the other one measures 100, etc. They measure the same amount. Right, are we good with that? Yeah. Corresponding angles. Right, okay, how am I going for time? I'm okay, I have a few more minutes. The next thing is alternate angles. So again, we still have 2 parallel lines. And we have a transversal, a line crossing them. Right, okay, and now I'm going to tell you about alternate angles. Are equal, and you do a different letter for alternate angles. Does anyone remember what letter do you do for alternate angles? You draw a Z, okay? So if you draw a Z, the angles inside the Z are equal, they measure the same, okay? Now you have to have parallel lines. This only works if you have parallel lines, right? So if I draw, wait now, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I won't rub it off this time and decide to do a second diagram because that's just a recipe for disaster. Look, I can do a Z. So there's my Z. What angles are equal? So it's the angles in the middle of the Z. 3 and 6, isn't it? So angle 3 is equal to angle 6. Okay, I could do it backwards, kind of a warped looking Z, but it's still a Z, see it? What angles are equal there? 4 and, so it's the angles inside the Z. So angle 4 is equal to angle 5. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah, I have time for the last one. Is two parallel lines, right? Interior angles add to 180. So what interior angles means, their interior means on the inside, doesn't it? So they have to be inside the parallel lines. So the ones inside and to the left. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inside and to the left. So there's between the parallel lines, right, and to the left of the transversal. There's two angles. Can anyone tell me what they are? So inside the parallel lines, 3 and 5, exactly. See 3 and 5? See them there? They're clearly not equal, but angle 3 plus angle 5 will add to 180. And can I tell you, if you know alternate angles, you can get away without knowing this fact, but it's handy for shortcuts and stuff, right? On the other side, the interior ones on the right hand side, what would they be? Angle 4 and angle 6. So if you add 4 and 6 together, you also get 180 degrees. Okay? Right. So they are all the facts that you learnt in first year. Right, okay, and we're going to do the whole lot of the questions on page 167. Let's do just 1 to 5, so just one page, right, okay. I know it looks like there's loads, but it's a whole page of maths, but it's actually kind of, they're really short, and I know some of you have to get that trick sheet done for me. Okay, so I'll stick it up here in a sec.